Vivek Jacob just reported something that should make every single Raptors fan furious. And I mean genuinely furious. So basically, the reason this trade is still stuck isn't about facts anymore. It's about the league trying to figure out a punishment that Steve Ballmer will actually be comfortable accepting. In this video, we're breaking down Vivek Jacob's report on why this trade is really stalled, why it's so unfair that Steve Ballmer's comfort level is even part of this conversation, and why this whole situation is honestly just the latest chapter in a much longer pattern of this guy costing our franchise. Before we get into it, quick shout out. We're closing in on our next subscriber milestone on this channel of 3,000 subs, and I don't think a Kawhi update has made me this annoyed in weeks. We've been putting out daily uploads trying to stay on top of every twist in this saga. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single thing, because you're going to want to see how this plays out. All right, so let's dive into it. Starting with the actual report, Vivek Jacob of the Raptors and Seven Substack wrote that Commissioner Adam Silver has said he wants this whole issue resolved before the 2026 to 27 season begins. But the real holdup, according to Jacob, is the league working out a punishment for Clippers owner Steve Ballmer, specifically one that Silver believes Balmer will actually accept. Jacob pointed out that Balmer is the richest owner in the entire league, and that Silver is going to want to maintain that relationship. Think about that for a second. The trade isn't stuck because the league can't figure out what happened. It's stuck because they're trying to negotiate a punishment soft enough for the guy who actually broke the rules to be okay with it. And I need everybody watching this to sit with how backwards that actually is. This isn't some ambiguous he said, she said situation either. We're talking about a bombshell case where Kawhi Leonard reportedly signed a $28 million endorsement deal for what's been described as a no-show job with a company funded in part by Balmer himself, all as an alleged way to get around the salary cap. Silver has publicly called his powers in this situation broad. He's talked about following the facts, about a landmark case for the league. But according to Jacob's reporting, the actual holdup right now isn't the facts. It's massaging the punishment so the richest owner in the NBA doesn't get too upset about it. That is genuinely one of the most absurd dynamics I've ever heard described in a supposedly serious league investigation. And let's talk about why this stings so much more for us specifically, because this isn't the first time Steve Ballmer's Clippers have cost this franchise something big. Let's not forget how we actually lost Kawhi Leonard in the first place back in 2019. We won a championship with him, and then he walked in free agency to sign with the Clippers, a franchise that has been reported on for years now, in terms of just how aggressively Balmer has been willing to spend and operate right up against the rules to build a winner out in LA. Now, all these years later, we're the ones trying to engineer a trade to get Kawhi back, giving up real assets to do it, and the entire process is being held hostage because the league wants to protect its relationship with the same owner, whose organization is now at the center of a cap circumvention scandal. If you're a Raptors fan, you're allowed to be exhausted by Steve Ballmer's name at this point, because it feels like his organization has been a thorn in our side for years now, one way or another. And here's the part that makes this even more frustrating. We as a fan base have basically had to sit back and watch this play out with zero say in any of it. Jacob's reporting lays out that even Bobby Webster, our own front office executive, who spent years in the league office specifically advising teams on cap compliance, likely went into this trade under the impression that Leonard wasn't going to face any real punishment. So even our own front office, run by a guy with actual league office experience in this exact area, appears to have been given a certain impression by the league, and now here we are watching the goalposts shift while Balmer's comfort level somehow becomes part of the equation. That's not on our front office, that's on how this entire process has been handled from the top down. And I'll say it as plainly as I can, the NBA dropped the ball on this one badly. This is Adam Silver's league. His investigation, his timeline, and his own comments about wanting this resolved before the season starts. If the actual holdup is negotiating a punishment that keeps the wealthiest owner in the league happy, rather than simply following the facts and delivering a fair outcome on a reasonable timeline, that's a real failure of leadership at the top of this sport. Teams and players who have nothing to do with any of this, us included, are stuck in limbo because the league seems more concerned with keeping Balmer comfortable than with actually resolving a scandal. It itself has called potentially the biggest cap circumvention case in league history. Here's a question I want answered honestly in the comments. Does this report make you more frustrated with the league than you already were? And do you think the NBA would be moving this slowly if the owner in question wasn't the richest man in the sport? I have a feeling I know how this fan base feels about that one, but I want to hear it from you directly. We've been tracking every single piece of this saga since the trade was first agreed to, and I think this is the most frustrating update we've gotten yet, not because it's necessarily bad news for the trade itself, but because of what it reveals about how this entire process has actually been handled behind the scenes. This isn't about whether Kawhi Leonard did something wrong or not anymore. It's about whether the league is willing to actually hold its richest owner accountable the same way it would hold anybody else. Look, I still believe this trade eventually gets done. I don't think Kawhi ends up back with the Clippers long term. But this report from Vivek Jacob should make every single one of us angrier than we already were about how long this has dragged on. We lost Kawhi to the same owner back in 2019, and now we're stuck waiting even longer to get him back because the league wants to protect its relationship with that same guy. That's not on us. That's not on our front office. That's on the NBA. Appreciate everybody pulling up for this one, as always. If this got you as fired up as it got me, do me a favor and hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update as this frustrating saga continues. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Does this make you angrier at the league? Until next time, I'm signing off. Cheers. Before we wrap things up, I just want to say thank you for watching and for being part of the Unlimited Hoops Canada community. Whether you've been here since day one or this is your very first video, we truly appreciate every single one of you. Our goal has always been simple: create the best place on YouTube for Toronto Raptors fans and Canadian basketball fans. No clickbait for the sake of it, no pointless drama, just honest conversations, in-depth analysis, breaking news, trade discussions, player breakdowns, NBA draft coverage, and everything happening across the Canadian basketball landscape. This is more than just a Raptors channel. It's a community of basketball fans who love talking hoops, debating the biggest storylines, celebrating the highs, and surviving the lows together. Whether the Raptors are chasing a championship, developing young talent, making a blockbuster trade, or rebuilding for the future, we'll be here covering it every step of the way. And it doesn't stop with the Raptors. We're passionate about Canada basketball as a whole. From the senior men's and women's national teams to our rising stars in the NBA, NCAA, and youth basketball, we'll continue shining a spotlight on Canadian players making an impact around the world. Canadian basketball has never been stronger, and we're excited to follow this incredible journey with all of you. If you enjoyed today's video, the biggest thing you can do to support the channel is hit that like button. It tells YouTube that you enjoyed the content and helps us reach more basketball fans across Canada and around the world. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We upload consistently, covering breaking Raptors news, trade rumors, free agency, game analysis, draft content, off-season moves, Canada basketball updates, and plenty more throughout the year. We also want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with today's take? What would you do if you were running the Raptors? Which Canadian players should we talk about next? We read the comments every day, and many of our future videos are inspired by the conversations happening right here in this community. Finally, if you know another Raptors fan or someone who loves Canadian basketball, share this video with them. Word of mouth is one of the biggest reasons channels like ours continue to grow, and every share genuinely helps. Thank you again for spending part of your day with us. We never take your time or support for granted. Until next time, this is Unlimited Hoops Canada. And as always, keep supporting Canadian basketball, keep believing in the Toronto Raptors, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.